Right. I was curious. You said that some vegans came up to you, and were those atheist vegans or just vegans, or you don't know?
I don't know. I get it all the time in email, and some of them are probably atheists. Some of them may not be. It's an interesting discussion, and there's a lot that we have to work out with regard to ethics. But I think before we can even get started on working out those, more difficult issues that perhaps have more impact than we realize, but less impact than the issues that we currently deal with, I think we got to get people to agree on some simple things. And I would love for everybody to just agree that slavery is wrong and was always wrong. And the second they admit that, then of course you've got to chuck out the Bible as immoral, at least in those passages that are advocating slavery. And you can't get people to do that.
Well, they always play their get out of the Old Testament free card.
Yes.
When that's a common stone. It's the big book of multiple choice.
That's a classic one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it drives me nuts. You can't get them to agree on something that's so obviously wrong. How are you ever going to get down to the issues that we could potentially all be wrong on, or make the fine-tuning little adjustments in our views of ethics and morality? I don't know how you can get there until you get over these huge hurdles people have put up.
Yeah. It's funny because I sort of started on this whole journey of research religion because I dated a fundamentalist Christian my sophomore year of college, and she, she's a great girl. I'm not talking anything bad about her, but she was a little closed-minded at the time. I brought up some passages one time about the genocide of the Canaanites, and she actually tried to rationalize them, and that was the first point in my life where I was like, wow,
Yeah,
they'll do that. Yeah.
They were evil people. They had it coming. That type of thing I get all the time.
Yeah.
By the way, this is Matt, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Can I ask you something? Are you hearing a nasty echo when you're talking?
No.
Good. Then we fixed one audio issue.
At least with him. I don't know that I've ever. This is interesting because thinking of these sorts of ethical issues in terms of the whole problem of might makes right. I've never really thought of might makes right as being a serious ethical.
To justify.
Well, when you are talking about it's a human to human issue.
Yeah.
Then when you have one race or one government oppressing its people or this, that, or the other, and backing up with a force of arms, that to me that would be how I would define a might makes right issue. I don't know that I would ever have considered applying it to just the whole issue of vegetarianism versus eating meat. I think that there are sound biological and evolutionary reasons why we are omnivorous. I believe that it's known that meat in the diet of early Homo sapiens is what gave us an advantage in our brain development and helped us sort of shove Homo erectus and Neanderthals and all the rest of them, into the mists of evolutionary history. But and there's something to be said. I mean, there are animal proteins that are if these things were not beneficial to our bodies, then as a result of how we evolved, it simply becomes, I think, if you want to be a vegetarian, you have to look at either other health issues like, well, if I go vegetarian and I don't eat meat, then I don't get all of that saturated animal fat, and so that's healthier for me. And then on a personal level, if you think about it and you really do have an ethical issue with the idea of, the poor sweet cow is going to get killed for my dinner and I just don't want... If that bothers you, then by all means, don't eat that cow. It should not. I mean, that's, I think, where the line is. People sort of have to make that decision themselves, and like anything else you believe in, if you want to argue it to others, you should have the right to do that too and present your case. And if you change minds, you change minds, and that's all fine.
There's another aspect to this that I've talked about before, which may not be a good argument at all. I mean, I'm open to having discussions about this on occasion, although I really don't need every ethical vegan on the planet emailing me to get. I just don't have enough time. But I think the issue's kind of difficult. But one of the things that we've talked about before is the idea that we do make distinctions with regard to what rights we afford different individuals. And for example, we don't allow kids to do certain things, and we don't necessarily afford voting rights to our pets. So we do make some distinctions. And I think that my position, by and large, is one that is fair in some sense, because, for example, if a shark tries to eat me or a tiger tries to eat me, I don't think that the tiger or shark is immoral for trying to do that. And as long as I'm willing to afford them the right to attempt to kill and eat me, then I should also have the right to attempt to kill and eat them. And I don't afford that same right to other humans. No human has the right to attempt to kill and eat me.
Because a human being can make the decision.
Yes.
And if they are attacking you, they're attacking you because they made a decision.
Now, somebody just went nuts when I said that, and they're composing an email as fast as they can, and I promise I'll read it. But that's about it.
True.
Well, thanks a lot for calling, Matt. Did you have one last thing?
Yeah, I was actually going to answer your other question, but I understand you guys need to get some more calls. Yeah, I just want to say I'm a huge fan of you guys. I've got relatives in Houston, so maybe I'll drive down to Austin one of these days if I go visit them.
Be great to see you. Yeah, definitely.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, no problem. And yeah, like I said, just you guys are awesome. Keep going. I mean, obviously, deist to atheist isn't really that big of a transition, but you guys have armed me with a lot of great arguments and a lot of great things to argue against theists with. So. Yeah, guys, keep doing what you're doing. The world needs you more than you know. So.
Gosh. Thank you.
Thanks.
The world
I feel like Spider-Man or something now.
It's up with people time. The world.
We got Colin in Chicago.
Yeah.
How you doing?
I'm good. How you doing, guys?
We're all right.
All right. I'm a big fan. And what I really want to talk about is that I'm starting to notice now is that there's this new thing that's happening around, like, the younger generation, like, community where, like, I don't know how to explain it. It's the religious leaders I see now are taking a lot of the celebrities that, like, young kids look up to, and there's, like, this whole movement to tying them to Satan that I'm starting to notice that's taking, like, a big, like, jump.
Nothing new there.
A lot of it's... Huh?
There's nothing new there.
Actually, that would be interesting. Who specifically are they talking about?
Yeah, it's
like,
more... I know there's nothing new there, but it's more specifically, like, the person. I noticed that they're doing it with Jay-Z a lot. And the thing is because there's this new thing, like you've probably seen it or heard about it, this video called the Jay-Z Deception, and they really just try and tie him to, like, Satan, and not just him, like, everybody in the, like, rap community just about, they've gotten to the point where they're saying anybody successful is tied to all this satanic stuff, and I've been trying to like...
Now, who is this doing this? Is this like a specific church or religious group of people?
It is a specific person.
In your area in Chicago there?
No, actually, it's in the country, but it's reaching tons of people, and it's getting, like, plays on many, like, websites. And I only noticed it because I'm a big fan of rap, and, like, on websites I go to check out what's going on. This pops up everywhere I go now. Yeah. And it's really amazing to me, and I only called in because I really need help because you guys know a lot more terms, and there's a lot of these things with, like, there's a term for collective belief where people really believe what they want to despite the fact because it's more comforting, and I thought there was, like, a specific, like, belief or a specific term for that. I was wondering if you guys had one.
Can you describe that one more time?
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. It's when people... despite the facts, because it's, you can go on, like, a million sites that advertise this thing, and every time you go to see, like, a thread or something that has this video, there are millions of replies to it, but when somebody tries to say something and dispute a reply or make something, like, I saw a video, actually, that very thoroughly tried to debunk the Jay-Z deception, but, like, nobody cared about it, and the only quotes the guy had were actually a bunch of, Christian extremists, it seemed like, that were just trying to dispute it the whole time, and it had low ratings and everything, and it seemed like they didn't even give it a chance because it just went slightly against what not slightly, exactly against what they believed, and I don't know if there's a term for that.
So what you're seeing maybe, you might call it groupthink, where a bunch of people have just latched on to whatever this anti-Jay-Z ministry is saying, and they're just parroting everything that he's saying, and they're not really interested in listening to what people who disagree with them might have to say, and they're all essentially just regurgitating whatever is being said by whoever's out there trying to say that Jay-Z is Satan.
Yeah, that's the big thing that was just funny to me because it really didn't make sense. And the thing is that for every video, for Jay-Z now, it's about him and, like, Kanye West and stuff like that. I don't know if you remember, but Kanye did the song Jesus Walks, and now he's Satan's helper now. Because, like, and people are believing this. And then The funny thing is, though, is a lot of it I found out is that these people are starting to, edit their posts and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So all you see are people that kind of say, "Oh, that's great" and everything like that, and it's really funny. Like, I know it's not the first thing, but I just wanted to call in to get a couple more terms because I've actually met with a couple people who believe it, and it's almost like, I don't know how to say it, it's like they train for debates and they have more charisma, whereas like they know how to like break you down by technique as opposed to just by straight facts.